Welcome back. So Illinois could soon have a law either banning or limiting the use of cell phones in public schools.
Last week, Governor J.B. Pritzker announced his support for such legislation during his State of the State address.
This session, I'll move forward with legislation requiring all school districts in Illinois to adopt a cell phone policy that bans the use of phones during classroom instruction.
So joining us now to dig into this proposal and how it would work, Samantha Smylie, the state education reporter for Chalkbeat Chicago, which covers all things education. Samantha, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So we just heard the governor voice his support for some sort of cell phone ban in schools, and they're already seeing some bills on the table. So let's first talk about the two bills state lawmakers have proposed. Can you break those down for us?
Yeah, so far the bills that I have is one from the Senate, SB 2427.
Yep, we have that one on the screen now. Uh-oh, maybe we lost audio. We lost your audio for a second. Sorry, Samantha.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. Let's try again. Let's start with the Senate bill.
Yeah, no problem. So Senate Bill 2427, the key point here is that on or before 2026-2027 school year, school boards need to adopt a policy on the use of cell phones. And basically it just says that like students can't use cell phones during classroom time or instructional time, and there needs to be an accessible storage of cell phones. There are some exceptions to the bill. So like if a teacher says, hey, pull out your cell phones, I need you all to look up this thing on the internet for me, or it's an emergency, or a physician says, hey, the student should have it in the classroom for their well-being, or if it fulfills a child's individualized education plan, an IEP or a 504 plan, or things like that.
Got it. And then is there also a second bill too?
Yeah, so there's a House bill, and that's always happens in the state legislature, that there are bills in both chambers that are pretty similar. So HB 2975 is basically the same thing as saying that like school boards have to come up with how they want students to use a cell phone in school or on campus. And the exceptions would be lunchtime, recess, passing periods, or emergency situations.
Is there research, Samantha, behind or supporting these cell phone bans that shows that students are able to, be present in their classrooms and that it actually has a positive effect on learning if they don't have their cell phones to, scroll around on or something during class?
I'm not sure about if there's any research around, like if it's helpful or harmful, but all I do know in this moment in time is something that the governor said, which is that he support these policies because one, he wants to make sure that children are paying attention in class, and that two, he wants to limit cyberbullying. And those are two things that schools have been most concerned about because the pandemic was really bad on student academics. And also social media has made it so much easier to bully kids in this point in time.
Yeah, we did see that mental health discussion being brought up because of that 2023 study that says about 51% of teens spend at least 4 hours on social media, and the use of that makes teens more depressed and more anxious, and I'm sure that's going to be part of the public discussion. Do you think that they'll have public support backed by this based on your knowledge? I know this is like your area of expertise in education.
Yeah, so I think that is going to be mixed as we're watching, right? Like I'm assuming that for school leaders like principals and for teachers that they might be like, yeah, we absolutely need this because I'm noticing that my students are more interested in what's happening online than they are in the classroom. But and some parents might support it as well, but there might be some parents who say like, hey, our country still has a problem with school shooting, and I need my child to have their phone on them in case of emergency, or a child might be responsible for their younger siblings getting home, so like they might need their cell phones then, or just anything. And I'm sure kids are like, okay, like here's another thing for us.
I know for sure. Samantha Smylie, so much more to talk about with this, but we ran out of time, so thank you for joining us, reporter for Chalkbeat Chicago. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too.
too.
Take care. And we do want to note that if this legislation is approved, Illinois would join 8 other states with policies that ban or limit cell phone use in schools.